It's not even just about melanin complexions. All complexions tend to not share what's theirs with original Americans. They have a problem with that. They don't see the fairness in that. They don't want to share with original Americans. But they want what they see original Americans are and have and feel entitled to it. So it's just like small children needing to be taught, to be trained to get along with others, and they see a child or children with something they're enjoying and say, I'm going to take it, and then I want to have a tantrum if I have to give it back, or if you look at me like I'm bad for doing it. So there has to be a progression in humanity as far as groups having what's theirs, organically theirs, and not requiring original Americans to be their contribution and feeling entitled to original Americans everything. And if not wanting to take it or replace it, they want to sabotage it. See, these behaviors are group behaviors practiced against original Americans that aren't paying Decepticons, and there's no major thoughts about it. In the gaslight is that it's not even reality when it is. Degenerate culture tends to say this is the safe original American or Pan-Decepticon or whatever. Not, this is a safe one. This is one I can control in some way, shape, or form. I can shame in some way, shape, or form. Apparently, because no one's harming anyone, saying, I do not want you to use your melanin against me to harm me, use my culture against me to harm me and compete with me with my own culture when you have your own. You have your own cultures and ethnicities, and you say you're proud of them, but then you want to be able to take them on and off and off and on at the expense of original Americans and say they deserve it. This is basically, this is the one who's playing as if it's it being bullied, or the one who plays as if it's the one that's being downtrodden. No, actually, it would be original Americans. We just don't play the games that are being played and put out the gaslights. Because you're going to use any word, this little old page mentions, any word you're going to start saying, oh, well, that's what you guys are. No, you be accountable for you and your behaviors. You shouldn't need the glossary of this little old page. You shouldn't. All this shadow banning that these melanated ones who come in these comments, if I turn the comments on, there's going to be someone 2 seconds later of melanin talking about, you vote for Trump. Just not even very bright, but put in position to block and sabotage, to try to get emotional responses and muddy up and infect the space, because truth is not a part of many of its cultures.
So don't you dare tell us we came from Africa. That's a load of bullets, man. You're a liar. You are a bull-faced liar. And I have my family bloodline, and I have the freaking phenotype to prove I come from there. I grew up in the United States. That's the only difference. Minus that, guess what? Them bloodlines stay strong. You can't take that away. You little immigrants love coming to our countries over there, and then you love cosplaying as the original people, and it drives me absolutely insane. I'm tired of you cosplayers. It's time for us to take back what we truly are. If you read The American Discovery of Europe, you would see that black Americans, aka American Indians, traveled to Europe. Then you had Aborigines of the land that were already in Europe. And those so-called Moors, that story you like to use, they came from the Americas. The American Discovery of Europe, Volume 1. You can go read that book and stop being stupid and ignorant. How about that? And then you can read America's the Old World, Volume 2. Then you can read America's the Old World, The Original Africa. Oh, that's going to smack you right upside your head. It shows how you guys are fabricated melanin. You're not even us. That name don't even belong to that continent. It belongs to South America. But you wouldn't know that because you don't read. But you thought you ate with this stuff, huh? You thought you ate with this one, huh, man? You guys as Africans need to stop tying yourself to my continent. Because that's where my ancestors bled and died. Not imported. You guys didn't get there till the 1900s when it was a small population. We're still the majority of people. I got a whole map posted about every country there. About our population there. And it's not you, the majority. There's even 2 census records like the black American, right? Because there's a black American rate and a Nigerian American rate. Right? That's 2 sets of people. Get that through your thick school. I know what you're doing. You're trying to engineer another lay to tie us to you. We are not you. We don't want to be you. Not if you're a layer like that. And even if you try to, we're not the same. That's based on DNA, right? Which DEA, that's a whole different story. That's based on, again, the migration from the Americas long ago, which can be proven. And also, that goes back to, what did we talk about before? Phenotype. You do not have a phenotype. You're an African. You come from that continent. You did not rule anything, and we're going to shut that down. We were already in the Negro Question Part 4. That's another book you can read and get your ignorant butt educated on, man. How about that? But go ahead and keep teaching lies about our people. We're going to keep smacking you Africans on the top of the head with truth. Because you cannot tell lies about the European continent of Queen Europa. She wasn't African either. Fun fact for you. I just found out she's related to the Queen of California. The melanated Queen of California. She's related to her. And she was the one that went over to Europe and named it in the first place. You can go ahead and look that up, Queen Europa. She's not an African. She's indigenous to the Americas. So you've been corrected. Get out of my face and don't talk about us no more. Because you're an immigrant from Africa. Stop speaking for true Aborigine European history. Because Europe is not a white word. It's a word from people of color. Aborigines from the Americas who migrated there and built those castles and the legacy and the thrones and the freaking royals. All right? They came much later to whitewash everything. During the Renaissance era, enough with your lies. All right? We don't want to hear from you Africans no more. Get the hell out of my face. The God has spoken. You know what? I wasn't even going to answer. You see, I'm always showing what I am. Of the copper-toed skin, original people of the Queen Europa's land that came from the Americas. Alright? So you don't want us teaching truth over here. You want to have your little self tie all the way up into our European history on our continent and Asia and all of these other places we built before these people even came. Now, we're going to stop that now. So, as you guys can see, this person here says you're mocking pretendians. First of all, the so-called black Americans or American Indians. This has been proven by genealogy. Number 2, by DNA. Which, all right, let's go even deeper. Okay? Why is it every single time that the so-called, you call them black Americans, do the so-called family tree, why do they always go back to the Americas and not one African slave is found in that tree? Not one. But then the Native Americans only have genealogical records till 1850 onward. So you said they came through the Bering Strait, native people of copper-toned skin for generations before them Siberian, Mongolian migrants immigrated to the Americas. They were brought over during the Spanish Crown. That's why I like being in the Philippines. Oh man, this conversation could go so deep. But you know what? I'm not going to go there right now. All right, because I'm going to tell you some of these people here that are modern day Filipinos to that so-called Native American stuff as well. Because they're tied into that as well. And these are the lies that people perpetuate in these countries. All right? Those people that you see of copper tone skin in the Americas, the melanated ones, they were already there. These people didn't come from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Why can't they find one slave in their tree? You still not answering this question. So how are they pretendians? Native Americans are pretendians. People that come from here, the modern day Filipino, are pretendians. People that came from Japan there, because they came to Mexico too, the pretendians. And they don't even come from these nations. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm telling you, I'll go in on people here too. If you watching, you want the smoke, by all means, come ahead and comment. That's why you guys are so quiet. You don't want that smoke. I got your documents. You don't want that smoke.